Jacob Newman. I just won my IFBB Fitness Pro card. I'm being interviewed by Dave Palumbo, baby.
Dave Palumbo with RxMuscle.com. I'm here with Tad the Diet Coach, and we are here at the 2013 NPC Team Universe Championships. We're here to do the final wrap-up of all the night's festivities. Tad, this was one hell of a big show. Steve Weinberg, it must be gleaming from ear to ear. I know he's happy it's over, but it was a lot of competitors and a lot of pro cards given out. It was like a smorgasbord, a buffet of sorts, if I may add.
Absolutely. I mean, there was from Friday to Saturday here tonight. It's been action after action, so to speak.
Well, let's get right to it, because let's start with the men, because the men seem to be the highlight of my evening, at least, although there were some great women here tonight. Malcolm Marshall wins the Masters 40 and over and gets his pro card. Malcolm Marshall is 282 pounds. I've known the guy for years. I've actually done his prep a couple times. He's been knocking at that door at the national level for quite a while, for over 10 years, and he just seems to not be able to be there when he needed to be there, or have the conditioning when he needed to have it. And I told him a long time ago, I said, if you bring the conditioning on the right day at the right time, you'll get your pro card, and he brings it tonight. Talk to me about how impressive he was there.
I mean, for me, he was one of the standout competitors as well. Very thick, just a thick competitor, really great competitor. He put it all together in one night. I'm glad to see that, especially guys who hack at it for a while. I know I'm one of those guys, so it's like when you see somebody who hacks at this for a while and then finally pulls it together and all the stars align and they get their pro card, it's a wonderful thing.
Malcolm Marshall must have like 24-inch arms. If you look at these arms, they're just ridiculous. His back is huge. He still doesn't have that conditioning in the glute and hams that he seems to be struggling with over the years. And I thought that might be a little kink in his armor, because Mike Yablon was also in this Masters 40 and over class, and he brought conditioning on top of conditioning, the kind of conditioning that you and I like to see from behind. Yeah. Striated glutes, crazy ripped hams, dry lower back. It was close, I think.
Yeah, I kind of had him edging over him a little bit in the prejudge, and it depended on what kind of physique.
I could have gone with his physique easily he could have won, and nobody would have argued. But 80 pounds of muscle is a hard deficit to overcome.
Yeah, you get out muscled in instances like that, and he had a lot of muscle, and he just got out muscled probably.
Let's talk about the men's 35 and over, where Rudy Richards, another guy, he's been competing as long as I have. Oh, wow. As a matter of fact, I think I beat him at a couple shows, or he beat me at a couple shows along the way. Here's a guy who's got oodles of talent, the genetic gene pool that you pray for, to the gods, and he just never brought his conditioning level in right. He even admitted to me that he's cheated on his diet many times. And you know what? Something just lit a fire under him this time around. He said, you know what? I'm not going to waste any more of my time. I'm going to diet hard for this show. And he comes in here and he goes home with a pro card.
Yeah, at first he kind of looked a little, to me, like he didn't really want it as much on stage. I mean, I don't know if that's just part of his personality.
I think he's lost his confidence is what he did.
It's perhaps, but man, this guy's got a vastus medialis that goes all the way up his leg. I mean, he's got thick muscle, lots of dense muscle. He just needs to get that really graininess that will make him a good pro.
He told me he's going to be doing the Tampa Pro in 5 weeks, so if he actually dials in the conditioning, and I told him, I said, look, the next time you want to cheat and eat that donut, say to yourself, is the guy who's going to beat me on stage eating that donut?
Yeah, exactly.
And then decide whether not to eat it, because if he brings a level of conditioning in that I know he's capable of, he could be a dangerous pro. This show is called the NPC Team Universe for a reason. The men's bodybuilding is used to field a team to go to the IFBB World Amateur Championships, also known as the Mr. Universe, in wherever country they hold it in. It's a drug-tested show, so the winners of the men's open all get drug-tested. Saeed Kamara came in here, wins the heavyweight class and the overall, one of the most impressive Team Universe champions, maybe since Kai Green, that I can remember. Here's a guy who's got oodles of talent. I mean, the gene pool of, I can't even begin to talk about. He's an all-natural bodybuilder. How impressive is Saeed Kamara?
I mean, he has really to me, like really pretty muscles, like really pretty physique. He's got nice lines. I can't remember what country he said he's from. I don't know.
I don't remember either.
But
he works for our sponsor, Biogenics. I know that.
Really, really thankful guy. I mean, but he's worked at it really a long time. I guess 2003. I think he said he's been competing since 2003 and trying to get to do this. And I guess Biogenics had a lot of faith in him. And they put a lot.
Biogenics saw him here last year, and since they've been working with him, he's gained like 15 pounds of muscle or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all he really needed was the extra push, the extra support.
He probably was eating like turkeys, like peanut butter sandwiches,
Well, now I guess he's an American citizen, and so he's really, really dedicated to this proposition. But really, really quite an amazing specimen. If he could put on 20 pounds, he'd be unreal.
I think we could see a shocking pro here if this guy
like a
can put on the amount of muscle that I think he's capable.
Yeah, unbelievable. Really, really unbelievable.
Ted, let's talk about the women's physique division. There was 3 classes essentially. There was 2 master classes, 1 open class. In the 40 and over, Tonya Shull wins her pro card. Now, here's a girl who not only won the 40 and over, she won the 35 and over, and she won her class in the open. But they only give 1 pro card because they don't want to take away pro cards from other people.
Right.
That's how good this girl was. She was sliced and diced, and I know last year she was not happy with the way she looked. She worked very hard, put a lot of muscle on her legs. She brought her conditioning in, and I think she was one of the most impressive women's physique competitors in the whole entire show.
Yeah, I saw her last year at the show as well, and when you see a competitor make those kinds of improvements, it's always a great feeling because it gives you hope for yourself.
Of course.
But no, it's really wonderful to see somebody go do that, put it all together.
The girls make a lot more improvements than the guys do for some reason.
Why that is, I'm not sure.
Now, in the women's 35 and over, Orlando Balan, or Orlandina.
Orlandina, yeah.
She goes by Dina Balan. She's trained by my good friend Arthur. She is a competitor who's competing 2 years ago in figure, and she's overweight, and if you saw the pictures of her, you would not believe it. Well, this guy Arthur finds her, puts her on a diet, she doesn't know what she's doing, gets her down, realizes she's got too much muscle for figure, puts her in women's physique, and she wins everything she does.
Yeah, I interviewed her this yesterday, I think it was, or this morning, and she's a really, really pleasing, really pleasant lady, and I think it was a surprise to her as well to do so well in all this.
And the funny thing was, she wouldn't have got the pro card if they would have given it to Tonya Shull.
Right.
So she got she got the pro card because Shull was eliminated from that round. And if you look at her back double bicep pose, I mean, there might not be a better back double bicep in the entire women's physique division.
No, the suggestion I gave her was just to lower her arms a little bit. I wanted to see her elongate her physique, but a lot of muscle, a lot of nice muscle on her back, and she has really pretty muscles. So, and she really has a really nice complete package for this women's physique.
I agree. In the open, Shauna Pringle brings home not only her height class, but the overall and an IFBB pro card. Here's the scoop on Shauna. A couple years ago, I was working with her for figure, and every time we bring her into a show, she wouldn't do well. But, I mean, the girl's beautiful. She's got a great physique, a lot of muscle like you and I like, but I guess it was too much for the figure division. She moves to women's physique, and she's an instant sensation.
Yeah, and I spoke with her in private early this morning, and I know she was kind of unsure whether or not how well she was really going to do. Because I
bet him dinner, and I won.
Oh, really? Yeah. I think it was probably the history of her not doing well. Yeah, but after seeing her, I told her, rest assured, you're gonna do well.
Well, think about it. Juliana Malacarni came in 16th place in every show she did in the pros, and then they created women's physique and she won 2 shows. So
you never know what's gonna happen.
You can lack confidence.
Absolutely, and sometimes what you see in the mirror isn't always what everybody else sees.
No, absolutely not. So let's talk about the women's fitness division, where Irene Nunn, who did a Lion King routine, which I really liked. It was very creative. I don't know if you're aware, but Irene does not have a gymnastics background, so she's all self-taught, and she had to do it. There was a lot of dance in there. There was a lot of creativity in there, and sometimes the judges go with creativity over the crazy flipping and slipping.
Yeah, I kind of thought they weren't going to respond as well because it was a slightly slower routine, not as much energy as some of the other ladies, but I liked it because I like that kind of music as well.
Yeah, I like anything that's entertaining.
Indifferent.
Yeah,
because you see a lot of the same stuff.
Congratulations, Irene Nunn, on the fitness overall and your IFBB Pro card. And in the women's figure division, Simone Mabin wins not only her class, but the overall here. Now, Tad, you got a chance to interview her, I believe, yesterday, correct?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And it was interesting when I watched the interview. I didn't realize she had done 18 shows prior to this. You think here's a beautiful, hot girl who's got a great physique, that she was would have been a natural, but she wasn't. She had a lot of problems, getting to this stage where she earned her pro card.
Yeah, and I think a lot of competitors get discouraged because they want it all to happen so fast, and they want it all to happen. But sometimes it just takes time to put a physique together and to unveil all the good stuff that God gave you, so to speak.
She reminds me of the New York Mets, because every time I would watch the Mets in the World Series, they gave me a heart attack, because when they did the first call out, she wasn't in the first call. Then they kind of snuck her in there. Then they moved her into the middle, and then she winds up winning. So it was kind of a real heartbreak win.
Yeah, when I interviewed her, I asked her about that. I said, hey, how did that make you feel? She said she wasn't sure.
Traumatized, right?
Exactly. And then they said they moved her right in the middle. But she definitely deserved. She has nice structure, and she definitely deserved the win.
The figure division is sometimes the most difficult in these shows, and you know what, Simone, you look beautiful up there, truly. And in the men's physique division, Julian Jean wins the men's open overall here tonight, gets his IFBB pro card. There was 2 pro cards given out per height class, so there was 12 pro cards given out, plus a couple of masters pro cards in men's physique. A lot of happy men's physique guys went home here today. And, you know, it's interesting because I didn't really have Julian Jean for the overall. I got to be honest with you. What do you think the judges liked about him?
You know, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I didn't have him either. Not that he has a bad physique necessarily. It's just that there were some really great physiques out there.
I like the really ripped guys.
Yeah, me too. I kind of like the guys that are a little bit more vascular, a little more grainier, but maybe that's the bodybuilding guy.
He was probably the widest guy up there, so maybe they like his width and taper.
Yeah, and he has sort of a big boned look almost in some ways. But
sometimes they see potential too. He might be a good future pro. Tad, and in the bikini division, I just want to mention the 40 and over champion and new IFBB pro, Stacy Nadeau, who's dating Ian Lauer, our men's physique editor-in-chief. I got to tell you, Stacy's been so persistent. I've seen her come in, out of the top 5. I've seen her place 5th, 4th, 3rd, and she just keeps coming back and coming back. And you know what? I think this was the best she looked, and they rewarded her with an IFBB pro card.
They did. I spoke with her in detail about it. She was very disappointed last year. I remember speaking with her then, and this year, of course, she feels very vindicated. But 14 attempts at a national.
Is that what it was?
14 attempts. Yeah, this is her.
And she's a doctor, Dr. Stacy Nadeau, I may add.
Yeah, so I was happy to see that she earned a pro card, earned 2 of them, I think, actually, so to speak.
Yeah, I think they took one away from her.
Of course, yeah.
And finally, in the bikini overall, in the open class, Carolina Silver wins here. She won at the NPC Garden State a couple of weeks ago. She comes in here in her backyard, essentially. She wins. The girl is beautiful. I think Johnny told me she's from Puerto Rico. She's got Colombia, same thing. She's Latin, and she's got one of the most. I got to be honest with you, one of the most beautiful faces that I've seen in our sport in a long, long time.
Yeah, well, I agree. There were several actually really, really pretty bikini competitors out there in all the divisions. So it's really that, the bikini divisions are really tough to judge sometimes in those top spots.
I mean, she had the body to go with it, obviously, but the face is unbelievable. When you got the face and the body, that's a perfect match as far as I'm concerned.
Definitely, it's like a 1-2 knockout punch.
Well, we had oodles of fun here. I've been on crutches all weekend, as you can see. My quad is not doing that well. The doctor will yell at me come Monday morning.
Yeah.
Tad, I can't thank you enough for all the help you've given us this weekend. And you're going to be on stage in 2 weeks at the Masters Nationals.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling woozy. I'm sweating. I'm like, I need to get some food.
Yeah, I think your blood sugar's dropped a little bit.
That's okay. My memory's going bang.
Well, for the crippled Dave Palumbo and the dieting Tad, the diet coach, we're here at the NPC Team Universe 2013. For now, we're going home in the car. Johnny Styles taking me to the diner, and we're going to get a little food and rest and recovery. See you guys next year.